All right, we're live. Hello, everybody. So this is Wes Rand with Rahat and Zubair, and today we have with us photography extraordinaire, Mr. Fredman.
Thank you so
Welcome,
much.
Fred. So,
I'm good. I'm good. How are
how
you,
you
man?
do? Good, good, moving well. So, um, how's life? How's work going right now?
Work is great, to be honest. It's better than I expected it to be. So,
Hmm.
but also at the same time, আমার মনে হচ্ছে যে I am working far too much and not creating for myself.
Right. Because we'll talk about your beginnings into photography, but just before we start that, just a little segment that we have. I just want to talk about a little news in the biz tech world right now.
Yeah,
Twitter got acquired by Elon Musk finally. I don't know if it has been finalized yet, the deal, but it's pretty much a done deal. So we have been talking about it in the past couple of episodes that
yeah,
he's probably just joking, but he finally went through. $41 billion is not a joke, but there are some concerns regarding um, his plans, at least on the liberal side of the world. But that's about it for like the business tech news. No other big development has happened. Eid is coming up soon, so I guess everything has died on locally.
yeah.
Yeah. So, with further ado, we just go for a little intro. So, just be back in 2 seconds. Something happened with this. But anyways, hello. Let's start our conversation. That was a total flop. Anyways, we need to work on our tech. So, so Fred, tell us your beginning into photography. We all know because me and Fred, we know each other through vaping. Basically, that's how we
Yeah,
got to know each other in vapor world. We used to hang out in the basement.
yeah.
The golden days. Fredman with his solder, fixing my vape, and other people. Yeah,
Yeah.
lovely
I,
stuff.
yeah, I used to fix their mods and also build coils and stuff like that.
Yeah,
At
yeah,
a certain point, I started managing the
yeah. Yeah.
almost everything. Yeah.
Anyways, so what I remember was like suddenly when you one day made this Instagram account where
Yeah.
you started posting your photos from your iPhone,
Yeah.
if I remember it correctly.
Yeah.
You had a really couple of really nice photos, if
Yeah.
I was not wrong. So, what got you into photography?
Um, More or less, I used to photograph it at school.
Hmm.
So, and I would be going passing languages, all right.
No, no, no problem. Hey,
Yeah.
we're very casual
So,
about that. No worries.
more or less, school I used to photograph properly,
Hmm.
and at a certain point, I got into the photography club,
Right.
and ওখানে একটা স্যার ছিল আমাদের, ঠিক আছে?
Hmm.
Like, he was at that time the editor of Jugantar, and uh, so I basically caught up that trend, that train আর কি, ঠিক আছে? So he
Hmm.
used to live nearby, and I used to connect with him quite a lot. মানে আমার intellect অনুযায়ী, ঠিক আছে? And
Hmm.
like, it was fun to have him around and like show me things about the camera.
Hmm.
And সে যেহেতু আমাদের ফটোগ্রাফি ক্লাবে ইনস্ট্রাক্ট করতো and he used to teach um, the
Hmm.
students in school. um, I also learned a few things just hanging out with him.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
That's like the best sort of teaching, I feel. You
yeah,
know,
yeah, yeah.
hanging out.
I just used to hang out with him just খুবই casually.
Hmm.
তো যেরকম এমনও হইতো যে আহ, পিউ স্যার আর কি, his name is পিউ রহমান. Um,
No
উনি
way.
yeah,
Wait.
Yeah.
He was our photography instructor at Maple Leaf as well.
Oh, হ্যাঁ 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 এই তো ওর রাইসার বাবা, রাইট?
Hey,
হ্যাঁ,
yeah.
yeah. তো রাইসার তো পিউ স্যার এরকম আগে আগে চলে আসতো স্কুলে at times.
Hey,
And at times Raisa was in the photography club, but Raisa আসতো না at
that makes
times.
sense.
হ্যাঁ, তো আহ, আমি স্যারের সাথে আর কি হ্যাং আউট করতাম, and we used to talk about it, যে কেউ যে আসে না, I was just there, ঠিক আছে?
Yeah, yeah.
আমার enthusiasm নিয়ে চলে আসছি আর কি।
Brilliant.
তো
That's good.
তখন he used to show me যে how to bring out the there are some other technicalities to photography, and
Yeah, yeah, of
how
course.
one photo feels this way and how that feels the other way. So এই
Hmm.
জিনিসগুলো নিয়ে we used to discuss. তো আস্তে আস্তে at that point মানে পিউ স্যারের সাথে I got really close আর কি।
Hmm.
তো and স্যার আমাকে তখন we used to go on trips to photograph
Yeah.
from the school.
Hmm.
So he liked some of my photographs at some point. ঠিক আছে? মানে from the very মানে আমি যখন when I started giving out photos to him, he was like, আচ্ছা হ্যাঁ, this is interesting, because um, I used to মানে I used to have that thing in me যে আচ্ছা this could work this way, this could work that way, মানে which
Hmm.
shapes me I could play well.
Hmm.
তো street photography was the thing তখন আমার জন্য।
It was. It was
Yeah,
definitely.
মানে
Yeah.
I gotta say, man, মানে um, a photographer belongs to the street.
I couldn't agree any less. Yeah, definitely, because Zubi is also like he started with photography with street as well.
Yeah,
When I used to do it as well, it's more like you get more things to see on the streets. It's more
yeah, yeah, yeah.
observational just because a Bangladeshi average Bangladeshi road, unless you are some road in by the DOHs where there's nothing happening. But in a normal road, a lot of things are happening. Somebody's fighting with their girlfriend. Somebody's getting slapped. A lot of things are happening at the same time. So it's
Yeah.
like as a photographer, you have it's a very observational sort of like art. So
হ্যাঁ, মানে you need to be a certain level of creep, to be honest.
hmm,
মানে
yes, yes,
মানে you have to be an introvert and an extrovert at the same time. মানে you have to be the introvert the entire time, right? And
hmm,
somebody comes up to you and asks you something, you have to be this best extrovert there
yeah,
possibly is. And it's more like a fight and a challenge inside your head when you're just completely introvert sort of a person,
hmm,
and you try to stay away from people as much as you can, interact less, just see what happens,
hmm,
observe. So um, my তখন থেকে ওই স্ট্রিটে ঘুরে ঘুরে ছবি তোলাটা থেকে I grew this passion and was becoming very good at it.
hmm,
And আমাকে at some point পিউ স্যার আমার আমার একটা ক্যাসিও 5 মেগাপিক্সেলের ক্যাসিও ছিল, ঠিক আছে? ক্যামেরা গিয়ারের হিস্ট্রিটা অন্য জায়গায় যায়, দ্যাটস আ ডিফারেন্ট স্টোরি।
yeah,
তো ওই ক্যাসিও 5 মেগাপিক্সেলের ক্যামেরার ছবি দিয়ে I built up that portfolio that I had, and he liked it, and then he was like,
hmm,
আচ্ছা ঠিক আছে, আমি তোমাকে um, I'll give you a better camera, shoot with that.
hmm.
And I used to go on his assignments, right?
Nice. Yeah.
মানে পিছ যাইতাম যে আচ্ছা let's see what happens, আমি
Hmm,
just চাই আমি out গিয়ে out, he's going to do his thing, I'm going to do mine.
hmm.
Let me see what I can observe in that certain space.
Yeah.
So um ওইটা থেকে I got a few photos in some of his assignments, and I
Hmm.
gave it to him
Hmm.
one day. I was like, sorry to take in. um I just needed some feedback. That's it.
Yeah.
These are the photos that I got when I hung out with in your assignments. What do you
Yeah.
think? Right?
But yeah, but that was like school days and stuff. But what switched later on? Because there
um,
was a gap. I would think there was a gap between that time and you started.
actually, the gap was very sad, to be honest,
Hmm.
because at that very moment, when my parents, the structure that the social structure that I was brought up
Mm.
on, um, ও মানে তখন না ক্যামেরা নিয়ে ফটোগ্রাফি করবা, it's sort of a not of a good thing to do, you know.
No, I know.
Yeah.
Yes.
And my family had this restrictions towards that, ফটোগ্রাফি করা দরকার, ফটোগ্রাফি করে কি হবে?
Yeah. In the end of the day, সবাই তোমাকে photography ডাকবে,
হ্যাঁ,
there are these negative connotations
yeah,
with this
yeah.
profession. But
and
I understand that period, but
and then
when
আমি না মানে ওইটার মানে I I I I I got so dislodged
mm,
about it, and
mm,
মানে খুবই এত dislocated হয়ে গেছিলাম সবকিছু নিয়ে। I thought যে you know what, screw it, এত প্যারা নিয়ে তো ফটোগ্রাফি করা যাবে না।
true.
And then fast forward, um 2019,
Mm-hmm.
19 I think. So I was working at Vapor World at that time,
Mm.
and
Yeah.
I was like, আমাকে তাইমুর ভাই এসে মানে আমাদের Vapor World এর একজন ওনার ছিল তাইমুর ভাই। তাইমুর ভাই একদিন এসে বলতেছে, ভাইয়া তুই চাকরিটা ছেড়ে দে, do something on your own. This is high time you do something on your own because you have so many talents and you're wasting it.
Mm.
মানে you're মানে you're running in search of a stability, but তুই নিজের জন্য কোনো কিছু করতেছিস না।
Mm.
That was the most inspiring part of the start of the journey.
Mm.
I was like, damn man, I never like thought it that way.
Mm.
আমি নিজের জন্য কোনো কিছু করতেছি না।
Mm.
And then with আমি চাকরি ছাড়ছি, চাকরি ছাড়ার পর I was wondering যে আমি কি করব, মানে what do I do? And আমি আমার কাজিনের থেকে একটা EOS 70D I bought it off from him because he
Mm.
was not using it, ঠিক আছে, and literally ওটা আমার ড্রয়ারেই থাকতো, ঠিক আছে,
Mm.
but it sat its entire life in my drawer.
Mm.
And he was like, আচ্ছা ঠিক আছে, fine. He asked for a price. I was like, I didn't have money, মানে I was completely broke.
Mm.
চাকরি ছেড়ে দিছি, যে জমানো টাকা আছে উড়াই টুরাই, I'm like all broke. And কি করব, আচ্ছা fine. I told him যে I'll pay you back since you're my cousin, at least do me a favor, just let
Yeah.
me pay you back like 5 months from now,
Yeah. Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
অথবা 6 months down from now. He was like, আচ্ছা ঠিক আছে দিও, প্যারা নেই,
Mm.
মানে since I can sell it to someone,
Mm.
তুমি নাও, টাকা দিও পর। So I got back into streets again,
Mm.
and I started photographing again, and then got hooked onto the fact of photographing people.
Mm.
And portraits like got me hooked. I started seeing photos on social media, and অন্য মানুষের ছবি থেকে এত সুন্দর সুন্দর portraits তুলে, and
Yeah.
the commercial work is so good.
Mm-hmm.
With technical side got me hooked. And I always had this tendency of being an engineer. I always like making stuff
Mm-hmm.
differently. So I got into taking photos of people,
Mm-hmm.
mostly my friends. My friend that's with me. And at this one point, I remember I was hanging out in this restaurant called Rustic Eatery.
Mm-hmm.
And ওখানে সবসময় গেলে I used to take my because তখন স্ট্রিটে ঘুরে বেড়াইতাম, আমি ক্যামেরা নিয়ে ঢুকতাম আর কি। So he noticed that I was into photography. So he
Mm-hmm.
approached me. He was like, dude, are you a photographer? মানে তুমি, তোমার সাথে তো ক্যামেরা দেখি, do you photograph? I was like, হ্যাঁ I do. বলতেছে যে, bro, I need some photos for my restaurant. Can you hook me up? I was like, yeah, sure. So we assigned on an amount of money that I would be charging him every month for a set of photos that he needs every month.
Okay.
And that became my first
Gig.
gig. ঠিক আছে? And
Brilliant.
I still do that, It's been like 3 years, I'm still doing that. I never let that go
Good.
because it's a part of me. I have babysat that business for so long.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I remember when he started taking photos for Rustic Eatery, they were like just they're brand new restaurant at that point. Now they have a shop in Bonani as well. I mean, a store in Bonani as well. Two locations. So they have turned big. You have turned big as well
Yeah,
over that period of time.
yeah,
So what led you? Like, I understand that you through this gig you turned into the like the business aspect of it, being a
yeah,
photographer,
yeah.
dealing with clients and their expectations and a lot of things like that. Um, So, what was the mindset when you develop content for them, right? Tell us the creative work process, how it works.
Um, acha, Rahat, but this is more like everybody has their style of doing things.
Mm-hmm.
এখন my style might contradict with somebody else's, so people who would be seeing this, ঠিক আছে, they need to be a bit careful যে, to at least understand this part যে everybody does their things very differently.
Of
Very,
course.
yeah, what how they do it.
Mm-hmm.
And আমি যেটা করি হলো, it first comes down to understanding the client's needs. মানে this is something that is very important.
Mm-hmm.
মানে শুনতে হবে আগে ক্লায়েন্টকে যে যে ক্লায়েন্ট কি চায়, কেন চাচ্ছে।
Right.
The first thing that try to understand is how what their what's their language in terms of the marketing side of things they're planning, because that is very important. কারণ
Mm-hmm.
ওদের মার্কেটিং ল্যাঙ্গুয়েজ মানে ওদের মার্কেটিং স্টাইলটা যদি does if it doesn't fit my creative style, it's never going to work out for them.
True. True.
So I try to understand that, and most of the time I be like আমি যদি জানি যে আমি এটা পারবো না, ঠিক আছে, it's
Mm-hmm.
not in my style of doing things, I would be like, look, this is not in my style, but since you guys are asking me to do it,
Mm-hmm.
here's what I can offer. I'm being very truthful from the very beginning.
Good.
This is possible and this is not possible,
Right.
right? So that they have very least expectations. মানে থাকে না যে I exceed
Yeah.
our
Yes.
expectations
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
so that they don't get disappointed.
Mm-hmm. And there's no hyping from your end,
Yeah,
because like when we think about how the sales pitch works, or like this pitch works when a photographer or and a client meets, we imagine like marketing executives hyping it up, hey,
yeah,
এটা করলে আপনার sales 200% বেড়ে যাবে,
right,
all
right.
these things, but
Yeah,
you have to keep their expectation at a level that you can meet and
yeah.
not. Yeah.
But এখানে actually জিনিসটা কি, it's not like um, it's not like যে I'm coming up with every creative idea, ওদের end থেকেও একটা creative idea থাকে, so I have to
Mm.
base their ideas and my ideas together,
Yeah.
right? তো সবসময় দেখা যায় যে not everything works out, you
Mm.
know, because it's more like um, আমি যেটা করতে চাবো সেটা আমি সবসময় অ্যাক্সেস পাবো না, because from the clients end they have a marketing team and they always
Mm.
go through my ideas and my decisions,
Mm.
and there's always this part of negotiation. So um, আমার যেটা মনে হয় যে you know um, what I always the next thing that I do is যে শুনে I'd be like আচ্ছা ঠিক আছে এটা করি, and then I plan something a bit bigger
Mm.
deep inside, ঠিক আছে, and I was like আমি চিন্তা করে I tell them my idea, and
Mm.
they're like okay, মানে that can be done, ঠিক আছে, and
Yeah.
sometimes they have negative feedbacks, they're like না এটা জমতেছে না probably,
Mm.
and then I'll be like আচ্ছা ঠিক আছে, since this is not your taste, try this, right?
Mm.
And some of them do say that আচ্ছা ঠিক আছে it's good, some of them no,
Mm.
তখন I that is where I ask them for more feedbacks from
Right.
their point of view, and
So.
that is
Mm.
where the lightning strikes, you know,
Mm.
that is when you understand that how this client would think about my project down the
Mm.
line, till the day যে আমি তাকে ছবিগুলো এডিট করে দিচ্ছি and what would his feedback be, ওটা না তখনই বোঝা যায়।
Right. So tell us, like, you started with rustic eatery and then food photography and things like that. What started with? How did you start with Crew 35? How did that begin?
আচ্ছা, Crew 35 is more like a work in progress,
Hmm.
right? So Crew 35 is um, a group of friends, and
Hmm.
ছোট ভাইও আছে কিছু,
Hmm.
আমার আইডিয়া ছিল যে I'm মানে it's a work in progress because I'm still looking for people that I feel very comfortable,
Hmm.
to work.
Hmm.
And those group of people would be Crew 35. And
Right.
um, Crew 35 is going to be, I have plans for turning it into a event photography plus sort of a photography agency sort of thing.
Hmm. 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 Hmm.
When you come here and you be like, all right, এই লোকের আন্ডারেই মানে আমার আমার একটা সার্টেন প্রেফারেন্সের থ্রুতেই কমার্শিয়াল কাজও হচ্ছে, বাট অলসো ওয়েডিংসও হচ্ছে,
Oh, okay.
মানে
So, acha.
ইভেন্টসও হচ্ছে, অথবা কর্পোরেট কর্পোরেট ইভেন্টসও আমরা হ্যান্ডেল
Cover.
কভার
Hmm. Hmm,
করছি।
hmm. Cool. So it's not like a studio sort of a thing. That it's like more like a group of people coming together,
হ্যাঁ,
like an
মানে
agency.
it is sort of a studio thing because আপাতত the the you know the work in progress is in the team right now,
Right.
right?
Money, you building the team.
Yeah, and
But
then
was this an initiative by your money? Just you? You just started it, Naki.
হ্যাঁ, মানে it was an initiative based on যে I wanted to work with a team for a
Hmm.
while,
Hmm. Hmm.
and I feel like uh, I do like styles of many different photographers around me, and
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
thought that if they work with me, I
Hmm.
would feel very comfortable knowing that this person does this thing best.
Hmm.
So that is the important part in the
Hmm.
work in progress. আর
I see.
আস্তে আস্তে ওই টিমটাকে নিয়েই I wanted to build a commercial studio,
Hmm. Hmm.
a commercial space যেখানে কিনা I could work and
Right.
clients and stuff like that.
Hmm. So currently, you're just working solo when it comes to things like this. Like.
I collaborate with a lot of people, to be
Hmm.
honest, and collaborate as in like it's of course a paid gig because মানে
Hmm.
usually collaborations হয় হইলো যে you're working for free and
Yeah.
things, but I collaborate with people, but in a way that they don't feel like they're working for me. You know?
Hmm.
We share the idea. We think about how we can, you know, address certain problem in a certain different way
Hmm.
from their perspective, and then like work things out.
Hmm.
So সেজন্য um, I work with a lot of different freelancers
Hmm.
right now, and um, a lot of them are extremely talented.
Hmm.
Not gonna lie, মানে there is so much talent that is so underrated right now. মানে দেখলে বোঝা যায় না, but there are a lot of people, and this bunch of
Hmm.
you would see a bunch of people in a group called TCC,
Hmm.
Traditional Content
Yes.
Creation.
Yes. Which you're the ambassador for.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So that is one of those places where I find different people to work with.
Right.
It's fun, dude. It's honestly very fun.
Brilliant.
So
Okay.
এরকম collaborate করতে করতে I guess at some point I would have my team. I would have a bunch of very talented people
Hmm.
just being proud of what they do. That is the dream with Crew 35.
235. Hmm.
It's not just a vision that I have, but it's like a team of extremely talented artists working
Hmm.
together for good things.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Understandable. Yeah. No worries.
So you're a photographer, but have you ever tried like cinematography?
Uh, Actually, I never tried cinematography because I feel like I am more into the direction part of things rather than when it comes to filming. I think আমার মানে ওই ক্যামেরাটা হ্যান্ডেল করার জন্য অথবা মানে the aesthetic part of it can be handled better to some other people. মানে আমি দেখা যাচ্ছে যে I'm improvising my styles যে হ্যাঁ I would frame this like this way and then
Hmm.
take the shot like this way, and then they will be like আচ্ছা ঠিক আছে, yeah, we could do that, and they execute that thing.
Okay. So
And
not the technical aspect, but the creative aspect of it.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I try to focus on the art direction and the direction,
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
and
So you have that vision because like through the years that you have developed your your art, we have like noticed like significant, like you have a tone in your photography that is very warm. You have a certain tone that if you notice that photo, that I would know for a fact that it's your photo. Like
yeah,
I know by now, because
yeah,
you have that certain tone that you use in, at least in portraits.
yeah,
When it comes to food photography, maybe not that much, but um, for portraits, we know that you have that tone, right? So uh, so when it comes to like that tone, like I know you're a very meticulous person. You take hours to edit your photos, retouch them, yeah, and you talk about it very openly on your social media. So
yeah.
tell us, like, how long did that take you? Like, is it still like a work in progress, that tone that you work with?
It's always a work in progress because Rahat, to be very frankly speaking, you want to be a better photographer every day.
Mm-hmm.
You want to push yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And আমার কাছে মনে হয় আমি যদি মানে এই বছর এই গত বছরের ছবি দেখি এখন দেখি আই উইল লাইক ইস এটা কেন করছি stupid man, I shouldn't have done that, and I criticize myself deep inside যে দূরো এটা না করলেও তো পারতাম, I could have done it this way, I could have done it that way, and it's always like that. You know, you ask every commercial photographer আমাদের দেশে অত দেশের
Mm-hmm.
বাইরেও anywhere, they're
Mm-hmm.
always fighting with themselves, ঠিক আছে?
Themselves, yeah.
Yeah, মানে they're just trying to improve their work bit by bit, but কিছু কিছু মানুষ আছে at a certain point, like মানে অনেক অনেক মানুষই আছে আসলে, there is no end. um,
Mm.
তারা আর কি, they would relax a bit, they're done finding their style, they just know it works. That takes a long time, man. মানে
No,
that's
I
like,
know, no. Like I'm talking big now. Kurosawa movie দেখলে যেমন বোঝা যায় যে এটা Kurosawa movie, okay? I'm saying author যেটা বলে, দেখলে বোঝা যায়, like Mustafa Farooqi movie, you see it, you know that it's
yeah,
just a movie.
yeah,
That style, that tone in your photographs, that tone in your creative work.
yeah.
You have to build it, and it's a constant process, but still there's like this fingerprint in this all these creative works you do, that
Yeah.
that signifies it, that it's yours.
I,
And
I think it's which when that little thing is somewhere in the photo that I don't even know what it is. It's more like an
mm,
individual thing. It's hard to describe. মানে আমার কাছে মনে হয় যে my photos feel very clean.
mm,
Hmm.
it is
Um, and I'm fighting that. I'm trying to make it a bit dirty.
grungy.
Yeah, I'm trying to make it a bit natural. And
mm,
আমার কাছে মানুষের যে মনে হয় যে I'm just focusing far too much on the rules and techniques of the
mm,
photograph, but not actually the photograph.
mm,
It's something that happens,
mm.
I'm not focusing on that.
No,
Now, when
every creative person is their own like, biggest critique. So
yeah,
that's, of course, that's how you build your thing.
yeah,
Yeah.
and I feel like that is what I'm fighting right now, and
Mm,
that is what I'm improving right now. I এখন আমি একটু মানে টেকনিক্যালি একটু সাউন্ড হয়ে গেছি, মানে honestly speaking, um,
mm,
I feel like I know far too many techniques than
mm,
I have experimented.
mm.
I know about it, but it's just I need to experiment with them.
More, yeah, cool.
So now I'm basically focusing more on experimenting.
Mm,
মানে aside for my commercial work,
mm,
আমি মানে কাজ করতেছি ঠিক আছে, but I'm also putting up some time to do my own work.
mm.
যে ঠিক আছে, um, একটা সার্টেন জিনিস আসতেছে কমার্শিয়াল কাজ থেকে, বাট I sometimes like to take a break from it.
Right, understandable. Like you're at a stage of your career that you do, like your work with Nree. And to
Yeah,
be honest, like for me, like uh, you getting into wedding photography, that was like a little bit of a surprise. But I guess that's like how you expand your horizons in the terms of business,
yeah,
because wedding photography, it's one of the biggest industries when it comes to photography in the country. Um, the commercial photography aspect, it's a hard game to get into. I know for a fact, because
Yeah.
you have to toil, you have to talk to people, get it out of them. A lot of projects have to
Yeah.
be approved. There's a lot of technical aspects to it as well. But
Yeah.
wedding photography is quite an easy gig. Like in the terms of the bigger, grander scheme,
Yeah.
it's a easier gig to get into. How did you start working with Nree?
Acha, funny story, very honestly speaking, because Nree, I actually liked their photographs.
Hmm.
Because I liked what like they were doing,
Hmm.
and জুয়েল দাকে আমি অনেক আগে থেকে চিনি, so জুয়েল দা
Hmm.
is from Nree, and
Hmm.
সোহান ভাইকেও আমি আগে থেকে চিনি, but সোহান ভাই was never in my friend list.
Hmm.
তো জুয়েলদার ছবি আমি জুয়েলদার ছবি দেখতাম, and I was like, I wanted to know, like, his photos look so simple, ঠিক আছে,
Hmm.
মানে it has no technical, মানে technically অনেক sound না কিন্তু, but it
Hmm.
feels good.
Hmm.
It
Yeah.
feels right.
Yeah.
What is this all about?
Hmm.
Then I realized that Joel Da used to do a lot of weddings. এখনো
Hmm.
মানে with for Nree,
Hmm.
and আমি I got to know about Nree from a ছোট ভাই,
Hmm.
ওর নাম হলো নেহাল।
Right.
মানে আমি গেছিলাম আর কি ওর বাসায় আর কি,
Hmm.
ওর বাসা মিরপুরে।
Yeah.
So um, Nehal told me about Nree, and I was like, আচ্ছা ঠিক আছে, I think when when they when they're interested to work and
Hmm.
take in new photographers, I would try working with them.
Hmm.
যে দেখি আমি একটু ওয়েডিংটা একটু এক্সপেরিমেন্ট করি, দেখি কি
Hmm.
হয়, let me experience it. Wedding is fun, and especially ওরা অনেক হিন্দু weddings করে,
Hmm.
and Hindu weddings are
Very
different.
elaborate. Yeah. They're very elaborate. A lot of rituals.
মানে
Yeah.
they're very different and very beautiful.
Hmm.
মানে আমার কাছে খুব ইন্টারেস্টিং লাগে,
Hmm.
বিকজ ওদের প্রত্যেকটা জিনিস এত, মানে there is this philosophy behind everything,
Hmm.
and আমার কাছে এই জিনিসটা খুব ইন্টারেস্টিং লাগে, and every time I go to this new wedding, it's completely different than the others, despite having the same routines almost,
Hmm. Hmm.
because ওই বাড়ির মানুষগুলো different, and how they react to those things is very different.
Hmm.
বাট কিছু কিছু জিনিস যেরকম মানে প্রেডিক্ট করা যায় এখন, ঠিক আছে, যে এটা হবে,
Hmm.
বাট ওইটা হওয়ার সময় যে আরো অনেক কিছু হয়, এটা 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 যে you have to see through that very moment. That is where the art of taking candidates are,
Right.
and that
That
is,
that that's how you pull your days from the streets into,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah. The candid photography of aspect
হ্যাঁ,
of it.
মানে আমার কাছে ক্যান্ডিড ফটোগ্রাফি খুবই ভালো লাগে, বিকজ it's unpredictable.
Hmm.
You have to be on the camera, and you have to be ready for something to happen, something
Hmm.
beautiful to happen, and you have to predict it. যেখানে কিছু একটা হইতে পারে, and you gotta be ready.
Hmm.
So we
Nice.
অত chaos-এর মাঝখানে taking a photograph was a challenge,
Hmm.
and আমার কাছে I think, like, I would love to do weddings more,
Hmm.
but I would really like to experiment different kinds of weddings too.
Right. Right. So.
মানে
আমার কি মনে হয় যে আমাদের যে ওয়েডিং ফটোগ্রাফি না এটা তেমন একটা চেঞ্জ হয়নি, লাইক এখনো অনেকটা ট্রেডিশনাল রয়ে গেছে।
মানে না, I would completely disagree with that and also
Hmm.
agree with that. মানে it's a two-way thing, কারণ
হুম
if you see, there are a lot of new wedding photography
Hmm.
businesses that have come
হুম
up. যেরকম most notable আমার চোখে is Reminiscence and
Hmm.
um, চিত্রগল্প.
Chitragalpa. Yeah. Yeah.
চিত্রগল্প ইয়েস।
Yeah.
And when you see their work, they have a very different style to it, and there is a certain market for it.
Hmm.
হুম
দুইটা style is very different, but দুইটা market is very saturated.
Hmm.
মানে
It's true. Yeah. Yeah.
হ্যাঁ, মানে সবাই ওদের কাজই পছন্দ করে, and a lot of people try to replicate it,
হুম
but ওরকম হয় না।
Hmm.
আসলে
And
চিত্রগল্প যেভাবে জিওমেট্রি নিয়ে কাজ করে, লাইন্স নিয়ে কাজ করে, ওদের আর কি একটা আর্টিস্টিক ওয়ে আছে। Our guest just got disconnected. No.
Yeah, no worries. I think he'll just join back. Uh, yeah, he's back.
Oh wait, sorry.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So where was I? আচ্ছা চিত্রকল্প and reminiscence, right?
হুম
তো মানে they have developed a style, but also এদের বাদেও এখন আরো নতুন নতুন মানুষজন আসতেছে।
Mm-hmm.
For instance, metro weddings.
মেট্রো
Mm-hmm.
Metro weddings এর ছবি is very fun, you know.
Right.
তারপরে reels and stories.
Mm.
Their work is very interesting. মানে ওদের কাজগুলো অনেক different.
Mm.
And people are now experimenting with different styles of wedding photographers.
Right.
Because দেখা যায় যে অনেক weddings এ তিনটা তিনটা ডিফারেন্ট ইভেন্ট তিনটা ডিফারেন্ট ফটোগ্রাফি টিম করে
Mm.
হ্যাঁ অ্যান্ড এটাতে যে প্রবলেমটা হয় সেটা হলো যে a lot of those times you know একটা টিম যদি তিনোটা ইভেন্ট কভার করে না they eventually build a relationship with the people around them
Mm.
ঠিক আছে? যে ছবিগুলো না eventually gets better and better throughout
Yeah,
the
yeah,
event.
yeah.
So this is where people go wrong. মানে
Hmm.
my strongest suggestion would be যে to viewers who are seeing this যাদের কিনা বিয়ে শাদী করবেন আপনারা wedding photographer খুঁজতেছেন whomever you hire um, go through with them throughout the entire stuff
Mm.
because it's going to give you a better opportunity for them and you to get better photographs.
Yeah.
আর এর বাইরে তো হ্যাঁ sorry I got tracked
You
out.
lost your train of thoughts, but that's fine. No worries about that. Yeah.
তো
So yeah,
এই
go
যে
ahead.
নতুন নতুন যে বিজনেসেস গুলো আসতেছে দে আর ডুইং ভেরি ওয়েল
Hmm.
লাইক এটা এখন হচ্ছে লাইক সবাই
Yeah.
এক একটা আর্ট নিয়ে অনেক
হ্যাঁ।
এক্সপেরিমেন্ট করতেছে লাইক এই ওয়েডিং সিনে
হ্যাঁ
Hmm.
তো আমার মনে হয় দিস
Well, you said you disagree, but what do you agree on?
I agree on the fact that there are a lot of photographers ঠিক আছে
Mhm.
থাকে না যে একটা there is always this certain crowd who are still stuck in 2006
যা আসলে
Overexposed flash দিয়ে.
আমি না এটা দেখছি জানো যে একটা ওয়েডিং এ গেছি
আমি I don't wanna hurt people
Yeah.
who are taking bad photographs
Yeah.
like that but জিনিসটা হলো যে ভাই আপনারা এত টাকা ইনকাম করতেছেন ঠিক আছে আপনারা অনেক অনেক বেশি ভলিউমে কাজ করতেছেন বাট ইউ আর নট ওয়ার্কিং অন ইয়ারসেলফ অন দ্য বিজনেস you're just taking money and just going nowhere
Yeah.
in terms of the art but it works for somebody in the business standpoint আমাদের দেশে
Mm-hmm.
but also there are you know wedding packages for যেখানে কিনা 10,000 টাকা দিয়ে একটা সিনেমাটোগ্রাফার আর একটা ফটোগ্রাফার চলে যাচ্ছে
Ah.
I don't know how that happens man
Yeah.
I really don't know
স্টিল আমিও এরকম অনেক দেখছি যে দে আর পেইং লাইক ওয়েল বাট এমন সিনেমাটোগ্রাফার দেখছি যে A7 III এর সাথে হচ্ছে জায়নের অনেক হাই এন্ড গিম্বেল এইসব নিয়ে হচ্ছে মানুষ যে খাচ্ছে এগুলা সিনেমেটিক্স নিতেছে
হ্যাঁ I know
এখন কিন্তু ওই ধরনের লাইক কেউই চায় না
হ্যাঁ
Mm.
মানে ওই যে বললাম না যে টাকা হয়েছে বাট মানুষের অ্যাকচুয়ালি টেস্টটা
Taste develop হয়নি,
টেস্টটা
yeah.
ডেভেলপ হতে পারে না।
এখনো ডেভেলপ হয় না বাট হইতেছে With the good
Yes.
মানে with the part where I agree is agree and disagree is যে হইতেছে
Oh, this guy.
Still it's gonna take time like
Yeah, of course.
মানে
Any. Hmm.
let's say 5 years down the line ঠিক আছে it's going to change
hopefully
it's going to
Mhm.
change completely যদি করোনা টরোনা আবার না ফেরত আসে I recently heard I got to learn যে ইন্ডিয়ান কোন নতুন একটা ভ্যারিয়েন্ট আসছে so
Oh God. Yeah, there is in the news that the
yeah
fourth wave might push into Bangladesh, but
চায়নাতে আরেকটা হচ্ছে বার্ড ফ্লু তোমার হিউম্যান বডিতে পাইছে লাইক যেটা কখনো পায় না এটা ফর দ্য ভেরি ফার্স্ট টাইম পাইছে তো এটা নিয়ে অনেক কাহিনী
Yeah.
হচ্ছে চায়নাতে
All right, let's switch back to photography, guys.
Oh,
Um,
God.
yeah. So next, I would just like to talk about shortly. Like you're working now, like let's say product photography. Wait, no. Are you doing product photography?
Yeah,
Hmm.
I am.
Product
That's
photography.
what I mostly do এখন মানে um, I'm still very experimental on fashion photography but
mm,
Product photography has become my thing
mm.
completely. Which
Yeah,
which I enjoy,
mm,
but if it's not challenging, it becomes very boring.
mm.
It becomes very very boring. When
It's just, but it's just a inanimate object you're photographing. There's not fun, not much fun into it. But I can imagine. Yeah.
মানে when there is this opportunity to like throw stuff around and
Mm,
to work with different, একটা চ্যালেঞ্জিং একটা আইডিয়া থাকে
mm,
রিগার্ডিং আ প্রোডাক্ট,
mm, mm,
তখন ইটস ফান,
mm,
তখন it's really really fun. I even enjoy it better than the fashion photography তখন.
mm,
So I'm doing something on a contract basis with a company right now,
mm,
and ওদেরটা is a very monotonous sort of thing. যে সেম
mm,
টাইপের প্রোডাক্ট এভরিডে আসে, বাট মাঝে সাঝে ডিফারেন্ট ডিফারেন্ট প্রোডাক্টও আসে,
mm.
but they're all the group of same stuff, clothing.
Going.
Yeah. So the best part is uh, it's monotonous, but I'm also learning about garments at the same
Mm,
time, how they are.
mm,
So it's sort of piquing my interest on, the
mm,
uh, learning about garment is actually helping me to visualize a certain style, a certain mood I can create with a photograph,
mm.
just with the fabric, what the person
Fabric.
is wearing and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
তো এখন ফ্যাশন নিয়ে অনেক একটু রিসার্চ করা হইতেছে।
Right, right. Like
তো
we all know the really nice billboards, the really nice setup that Arong does. Like Arong has that distinct,
হ্যাঁ,
very aesthetic
yeah,
pictures since we're like kids.
হ্যাঁ, when you আরঙের ছবি কিন্তু অনেক অনেক ডিফারেন্ট ডিফারেন্ট ফটোগ্রাফার তুলে এখন,
Mm,
ঠিক আছে?
mm,
It's not like that one person does it.
mm,
A lot of different people do it differently every time.
mm.
But the reason ওই যে বললো না যে আরং একটা distinctive style আছে, and
True.
that style is not just the photographer, but also um, the makeup artist, the
Mm,
look,
mm,
the styling, the way the models would be arranged and whatnot.
mm,
Data is very important, and I'm learning about these things. Fashion photography is not just the photographer and the product.
mm,
It's like it's more like a cinema, but in stills.
mm,
It's more like মানে ওখানে একটা সিনেমাতে যে কয়জন লোক লাগতেছে, অলমোস্ট একটা ফ্যাশন ফটোগ্রাফার, একটা প্রপার একটা ফ্যাশন ক্যাম্পেইন নামাইতে গেলে ওরকম পরিমাণ লোক লাগে at
mm,
times. মানে একটা ছোট শর্ট ফিল্মে যে করবো 10-12
mm.
জন 15 জন লোক লাগে।
But which they do also, if I'm not wrong, because these photographers do like small snippets, if 30
Yeah,
seconds or not.
yeah,
They do develop cinematics as well, along
yeah,
with the still photography. So photography, I feel like I wouldn't be cliche and say photography is dead or something. That it's a platform that slowly will move into cinematics, but
Hmm.
there is a tendency, like I have seen it locally at least. Globally, let's not. Of course, there is, but there's a shift that for still photographers are moving constantly towards more. I mean, moving
videos.
pictures. Yeah, videos.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you see it?
I see it, but also at the same time, I like it, and I don't like it at the same time. But I'm starting to, like lean towards liking it, because
Mm,
এখন না, people get engaged with moving pictures far more, because we see a
true.
lot of moving pictures.
Mm,
But also at the same time, a power of a photograph is very different from
from
moving
movie,
pictures.
yeah,
Yeah.
because
Because
it's like 24 frames per second. It's
হ্যাঁ,
like 24 pictures per
a
second.
second.
Yeah.
এখন জিনিসটা হলো কি, see, if you see it this way, আমাদের চোখে কিন্তু usually স্লো মোশন ভিডিওস গুলো কিন্তু খুবই ভালো লাগে।
Hmm.
Mm, mm,
The reason behind it is because um, we see the frames go even slower.
slower.
When they're shot in a very high frame rate and then
Mhm.
slowed down, right?
Yeah.
So what happens is যে the changes in the frames are very slow. You see things happening at that very
Mm,
second,
mm,
and it makes you very observant.
mm,
So আমার কাছে মনে হয় যে photography is the point where everything has to be perfect to the eye
Hmm.
and everything has to be done right,
Hmm.
তখন a photograph is has that place in your heart.
Hmm.
That is the power of the photograph that a lot of people don't understand.
Hmm.
And আমার কাছে যেটা মনে হয় যে um, if I don't understand one single frame properly, I don't want to move into directly into videos right away.
Right.
I want to perfect the craft of photographs. Then
Because like of course like
no,
you can make,
I
yeah,
can, but I just
you
need
can make videos, yeah, yeah, yeah.
I want to perfect it a bit more. তারপরে I
Yeah,
want to
you want, you like how you developed your tone, of
yeah,
course. When you like, you are in a stage in your career that you would want that same, like if not the same, you want a same similar style, or like you need to develop a certain level of cinematography before you jump into it.
right.
Yeah, yeah, it's not going to be the same journey as you had with still photography. It
No,
was, you are going to have a jump start, you're going to start at a higher level
yeah,
than you did with.
and আমার কাছে মনে হয় যে cinematography has become easier than before. A lot of people call themselves a cinematographer, but there's a lot to learn about it.
Yeah,
It's
Hmm.
not
color
just
grading,
no,
tons of
it's not just
software,
color
um,
grading, man.
so many,
When I think
the
about it,
framing, yeah.
yeah, and think about it this way, um, color grading নিয়ে অনেক YouTube videos হয় বলে we know about
Hmm.
it. A lot of
Hmm.
other people know about it,
Hmm.
but আমার মনে হয় there is far more element into
The art of it, of
yeah,
course, yeah,
into the art of
because yeah.
because ওই যে থাকে না যে art direction, styling,
Hmm.
Hmm.
these have to come and play and make it has to be a harmony of everything.
Hmm.
And photographs say, since it's not a moving frame, Marisha, you can place different lights apart away from the frame and then re-edit it in a certain different way যেটা
Hmm.
videos এ করা যায় না.
Right,
So
but
the
yeah,
process is very different.
you're saying like, you're saying two different things. Like, of course, if we think about the traditional filmmaking thing, editor is separate from the cinematographer. They work concurrently, of course, but I think in Bangladesh it's more like these roles are conjoined.
Yeah,
Editing and cinematography is quite, at least even if you talk about small scale films in Bangladesh,
yeah,
it's much more joined the profession.
yeah.
But talking more into cinematography, um, you said that you want to develop a certain style, or like um, go to a certain level, then you want to come into it.
Yeah.
So what made you think so? Did you see anybody that maybe you didn't feel like their work in still photography was much better than their cinematography?
Um, sorry.
No worries. Yeah.
So what I feel like there are a lot of bunch of people who are into cinematography, but
Mm,
আমার কাছে if they're into it, I would ask them to be into it. Just do the thing properly.
mm,
But আমার কাছে মনে হয় নাই যেরকম I feel like people who want to be photographers, they always want to stick to photography.
mm,
And they don't plan on like switching a lot.
mm.
But then there are people যারা কিনা who are aspiring to be a director. তারা
Right.
তারা দেখা যায় কি যে ফটোগ্রাফি থেকে ডিরেক্টলি ডিরেকশনে চলে যায়. They start making films to their vision and whatnot.
Mm, mm, mm,
And অথবা cinematography তো ঢুকে টুকটাক.
mm.
But then move to direction because they realize that cinematography is better done with somebody else.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because yeah, I feel like it's a tough gig, to be honest. It's
it's
so
very
many. It's just not the technical aspects of it. It's মানে সবকিছু creatively is just a whole different thing. So yeah. Uh, but that's that. When let's talk about gear, because eventually we have to talk about it. Um, remember, like I remember when you got the Sony A7
three.
III.
Yeah,
Yes, yes. So
I
um,
came back. I came down to your place, Mona sir.
yeah,
Right,
yeah,
a few hours after I got it. Yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah. So tell us the purchasing process. Like how did they go? Like what me like I know for a fact like you research a lot of YouTube videos, forums, whatnot, read the
Actually,
reviews.
it comes down to now that almost এখন
Hmm.
সব ক্যামেরাই মোটামুটি ভালো বুঝছো
Hmm.
বাট তখন না that was মানে the A7 III was like this
Game
it
changing.
kind of shocked the industry যে DSLRs are about to die like
Die.
yeah it's time for you
So you
y'all
too.
to go
Yeah.
and and I was like I was in a brink যে I have and what's happening এখন
Yeah.
and
Yeah. You know, what it surprised me the other day, I was just like looking up cameras and stuff. I remember 1DX, which is the
হ্যাঁ
huge
yeah
DSLR, 7 frames per second chilo,
হ্যাঁ
like burst shots.
yeah
I scared like a few days ago, I was just seeing on the new mirrorless ones. Oh,
হ্যাঁ
level release course. It's gone up to like 20, yeah, electronically at least.
হ্যাঁ
20. So that's insanity if you think
it's
about it.
20 to
Like
30 actually
yeah,
30
so
30 is
yeah,
so
crazy like that they how technically like has
cameras
blown up. Yeah.
cameras suddenly became very you know technologically advanced হঠাৎ
Hmm.
করে
Hmm.
because আমার মনে হয় যে ওই Canon has been dominating the camera market
Hmm.
ঠিক আছে মানে in terms of stills
Hmm.
and Ari was working on their thing Ari
Hmm.
and ওইটা was dominating that space so হঠাৎ করে এই যে নতুন নতুন টেকনোলজিস আসার পর people when there are new camera companies who are trying to get into
Yeah.
the market.
The competition is always good. That's
And
like
what Sony did was basically like they basically reinvented the wheel.
hmm.
They were like, Jay, what was the point? That point that held photographers back to
Hmm.
get better photographs was speed. In speed in terms of like focusing,
Hmm.
and it was not like যে speed ছিল না ছিল
Hmm.
they had good speed but it was not where the like speed and accuracy টা অতটা ভালো
Hmm.
ছিল না you know
Yeah.
it was hard to nail focus right on the eye but now
Hmm.
it's just automated
Yeah. AI they
uh,
use.
they have IAF as they say
Hmm.
eye autofocus
Hmm.
and that happening real time with moving
Moving.
lens and everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
That's crazy.
it's
Yeah.
like it's like a huge advancement in
Hmm.
things.
Like mirrorless has definitely changed the scene right now,
Yeah.
but like do you think like like আগে যেমন prosumer লেভেলের cameras যখন রিলিজ হতো and stuff like that, there was a craze of DSLRs in Bangladesh.
Yeah.
I feel like recently cameras have like not let's not talk about the importer Bangladeshi importers, but cameras in general globally has just gone up the prices like like
I mean,
norm.
they haven't gone up. They have been the same. ঠিক আছে, almost
Hmm.
similar,
Hmm.
but the tech has gone up. But
Hmm.
যেটা হয়েছে কি, now that smartphones have so good cameras,
Hmm.
মানে the camera এত ভালো করতেছে, people are মানে যারা কিনা আগে বাসায় একটা ইয়ে ছিল না যে আচ্ছা ঠিক আছে আমাদের বাসায়
একটা
একটা ক্যামেরা দরকার,
হ্যাঁ
ভালো
yeah
একটা ক্যামেরা দরকার, that need has faded away.
right
That need has faded away, and what it did is it ruined the importance of a photograph in someone's life
hmm.
because photos have become so accessible. It's nice,
Hmm.
it's good, it's definitely a good thing,
Hmm.
but also at the same time we see a lot of photographs that just mean nothing to us.
Hmm. It's just noise.
Yeah, it's just noise.
Yeah.
That is a very hard.
Is those pictures people take just before they
Yeah,
eat their
and
meal,
that
right? Yeah.
yeah, and that is the hard pill to swallow.
Hmm. That's what I feel like. To be honest, I agree with it completely because that whole segment of like I mean that price segment was like very emotional to like at least the middle class people. You know, like the camera থাকবে, birthday ছবি তুলবে, baby first steps. You know, the
Yeah,
first dad taking that emotional that
that's
thing is gone. It's definitely gone. You
that's
know.
definitely gone. It's
Camcorders তো এর আগে অনেক আগেই চলে গেছিল এখন I
হ্যাঁ,
feel still cameras are gone as well. um So let's talk about like Bangladeshi market. We know slowly Sony dominates. There's no disagreeing with that aspect of
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Marketing level in the terms of adoption for like throughout fashion, commercial,
Actually,
photojournalism.
the reason why Sony is doing so well in our country is the price point. And
Mm.
Sony actually কিন্তু আমাদের দেশে ওদের Sony has their official dealership.
Mm-hmm.
The prices are a bit higher than conventional prices abroad,
Mm.
but they provide a very good service.
Mm.
So the service is spectacular. Not gonna lie.
Mm.
Sony থেকে ক্যামেরা কিনলে you get a brilliant service.
Mm.
And যে ক্যামেরা কোনো সমস্যা হচ্ছে you they take your camera and give you a loaner
Mm.
at times, so that you don't have to suffer through the fact that যে তোমার হাতে ক্যামেরা নাই and you have gigs and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
At least you can work with that.
Yeah.
So it's a
Like,
very good
but
support.
Sony আগেও তো there was Jan Associates, right? It's a Canon
Yeah.
authorized reseller. We all know about them. What has happened to them? Like, what happened to Canon in Bangladesh? Why do you think it is completely?
Canon has never died. It's more like
No, it didn't die. I know for a fact they didn't die, but
মানে আমার কাছে এখন যেটা মনে হচ্ছে কি যে Sony fits a very nice budget range.
mm,
It's not too expensive. Canon high-end cameras are very expensive.
yeah, of course, insane. The
Insanely
comparable camera to A7 IV, it's
Yeah.
very high comparatively
হ্যাঁ
in Bangladesh,
হ্যাঁ
at least.
তো A7 মানে ওই জায়গা থেকে চিন্তা করলে না people are shifting towards Sony. Just because of that.
A7C, then
হ্যাঁ
আরো কয়েকটা আছে, which
হ্যাঁ
is comparatively even lower than A7 IV.
yeah
But it's I feel like people who do get into photography, they have they cover a bigger segment, price segment wise.
yeah.
So that the barrier to entry, of course, is the price into
Yeah.
photography right now. So it lessens that burden on that photographer.
But I necessarily don't think it's the burden, because এখন আইফোনে এত ভালো ছবি তোলা যায়, it's very hard to tell.
Yeah.
It's very hard to tell যে এটা was it মানে if you know how to photograph, you can create a very good photograph with just your phone. এখন it's possible. It's very much possible.
Mm.
So আমার কাছে মনে হয় যে মানে I would quote on this যে এই কথাটা অনেক 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 জায়গায় অনেকজনই বলে. A lot of photographers said this. The best camera you have is the one that is with you.
Yeah. But like when I used to go to Patshala, Tanzim Wahab, he's a really good photojournalist, and he was one of our lecturers there. He said the same thing. People say this thing, is the this exact thing, but that's bullshit. Okay, you need a good camera to take good pictures, because
At a
it's
certain point. At a certain point.
Hmm.
When it matters at one certain point, যে you want the picture to be clean, all right, you need a better camera and a better lens,
Yeah.
then a better light, and it
Yeah.
spirals out into like so many different things.
Yeah.
And you're in a puddle of like 14 lakh টাকার একটা bill.
Yeah, of course, because glass was so expensive. আগেও তো
Glass.
lens was প্রচুর expensive. Yeah.
এখন আরো
no.
expensive হইতেছে. Glass is getting expensive.
Mm.
I'm not going to lie, man. I'm not going to lie. Canoner RF85 f1.2
Mm-hmm.
non-DS মানে না DS নাকি non-DS is like কত 3.5 লাখ টাকা একটা 85.
Sheesh. But like the lecturer, he's a photojournalist. The photojournalist, of course, what they look for, clarity in the photo and how fast, right?
And a photojournalist would firstly look into size.
Mm.
That is the first
Like
thing.
gear wise.
Yeah.
I'm talking about gear wise. Yeah.
Gear wise, they would look into the size of the gear, because the smaller it is, the sneakier you are, and you can get into places, and you can pull out your camera faster, and you can carry it with you in a very concealed space. So it's
Like
much easier
that
to carry
সেটাই
a
বলতে world press photo, right? Every award winners আগে যেমন like let's say 2010-11 Canon used to dominate, everybody knows.
Yeah.
But এখন it has সেটাই বলতেছি, like even not it's just Bangladesh, I think it's globally is just there's more competition where it's like everyone's trying to fit into everything. Nikon's not doing so well, I feel, but these two are like head to head.
একদম
Yeah, definitely. Like in terms of quality of pictures, Canon is no uh, less than Sony. If the কি বলে, the other lens line is on a pretty
হ্যাঁ
not as big as Sony right now maybe, but the
ক্যাননের
mirrorless ones at
হ্যাঁ
least.
ক্যাননেরটা is growing, like the
Right.
mirrorless side of things, but
Mm.
in general Canon has a lot more lenses
Mm-hmm.
in
Yeah,
general.
সেটা তো EF line is legendary. Everybody knows. You know that Canon marka মানে like a literal Canon. It's a
Yeah.
huge
The
1200
big
mm এর lens গুলি।
oh Allah.
There was this lens. I don't know how long it is. 2000 or 1600. They only made 10 of them. Like
Yeah,
it's like
it was like
it's
$120,000 or something.
yes. They only made 10 of those. Basically, wildlife photographers are used for it. So
Crazy man,
yeah,
crazy.
yeah. They're yeah.
And
But
but still, মানে, if you ask photojournalists, they all prefer Fujifilm.
Fuji, yes, Fuji is like a weird upstart.
And
Yeah.
Fuji was always there, but Fuji is making some very
No, dude, no. Fuji, we know like 90s party, Mane Fuji, you know,
yeah.
film.
Fuji
Yeah,
was always, the OG,
yeah, it was.
like Fuji is like the Snoop Dogg or Eminem
Yeah,
of like, photography. They
yeah.
know their stuff. ঠিক
Mm,
আছে?
mm,
Spec wise, you wouldn't like them. ঠিক
mm,
আছে? মানে ওরা full frame camera বানায় না because they think যে full frame is not worth it.
mm.
Camera
Crops, yeah.
it's better to stay in crop.
Mm.
So how like, acha, okay. And
Like I know like a lot of travel photographers that are talking, they don't want that those expensive gears and whatnot. Mirrorless is actually China. Fuji is uh, like a lot of people get into Fuji.
হ্যাঁ মানে
Ata, you know Ata from Reminiscence.
হ্যাঁ
He works with the Fuji as well. So
not always, not
not
always.
always, but he does. Yeah.
মানে
Recently one বেচেও দিছে, but yeah.
হ্যাঁ আতা ভাই মনে হয় মাঝখানে একটা he had a medium format from Fuji.
Mm,
And for the work he does, it's not the right medium format
mm,
camera. মানে weddings এ বাংলাদেশে medium format is still a long shot, you know.
mm.
মানে using medium format in weddings are not really, মানে clients wouldn't understand the value of those photos.
Hey, medium format কি aspect ratio different থাকে?
It's more like a bigger sensor.
No, I know that it's a bigger
Yeah.
sensor. But
Aspect ratio টা camera to camera manufacturer একটু different. There are 4x5s.
Right.
একটু square-ish.
Which is squarish, yeah.
হ্যাঁ।
It used to be. I
Yeah.
don't know, but
এখন
yeah.
এখন medium format has a lot of different ways of doing medium format. Phase 1 একভাবে করে,
Hasselblad does it in
Hasselblad
different.
একভাবে করে, Mamiya is no more in the game, but Fuji একরকম ভাবে করে.
Mhm.
So Fuji হলো Fujiর medium formatটা হলো it's the smallest medium format sensor, I think,
Mhm.
in terms of medium format.
Mhm.
And that is মানে আমি I was telling my assistant the other day যে I am not really sure if I'm going to stick to full frame
Mhm.
because I really want to move up to having a medium format because
Product photography তো medium format is like the you know Hasselblad সবাই জানে যে Hasselblad এত বড় একটা setup থাকে সবার, you know. Yeah. But you know like of course
High-end
Hasselblad is yeah.
high-end work medium format is.
But do you think the industry has developed that much that you know photographer here you will use Hasselblads?
Hasselblad's nah, but Fujifilm medium formats, yeah.
Yeah.
I think at now it's becoming worth it.
Mhm.
কারণ আমাদের দেশেই এখন মিডিয়াম ফরম্যাট দিয়ে অনেক ফ্যাশন ফটোগ্রাফাররাই শুট করতেছে।
Because Hasselblad is as much as a car, if I'm not wrong, $35,000 or something like that.
Yeah, মানে it depends on which end of the snake you step on.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. Acha, let's talk about like the black market of photography. Okay. Like the shops in Bosundhara and other shops like Eastern Plaza, whatever the Dubai Tikane or Singapore Tikane suitcase.
Honestly speaking, ওদের জন্য অ্যাকচুয়ালি ফটোগ্রাফি সিনটা এখনো টিকে আছে the way it is right now.
Hmm.
Because they are they are the folks who are being able to provide cameras to people who need it in a budget. You know,
Hmm.
people who have
Without
to cut
without.
corners
Hmm.
with
Hmm, hmm.
serviceability, and they take a risk of buying something that is not from an authorized dealer,
Not really, yeah.
but they have to do it because they're in a budget. যেরকম আমি আমার A7 III কিনছিলাম from a place like this.
Hmm,
Yes,
hmm, hmm.
they're not an authorized dealer,
Hmm.
but they had the least market price A7 IIIs.
Hmm, hmm.
So I went for it because I had to save every dime for
Yeah.
getting a better lens that I could have with that money.
Hmm, hmm.
But
But like
but now I have slowly started to realize the value of taking it from an authorized dealer.
authorized dealer, yeah, because of the if
মানে থাকে
this
না যে
that.
থাকে না যে আমার নেক্সট এক সপ্তাহের ভিতরে কোনো কাজ নেই, আমি যাই ক্যামেরাটা দিয়ে আসি একটু ক্লিন করে।
Hmm.
It makes the the user experience a bit better.
Hmm, hmm, hmm.
যে আমার
Definitely.
ক্যামেরাটা একটা মানে একটা থরো একটা চেক আপ হইলো from a very authentic place যারা who has certified technicians who can put back the
Hmm.
camera in and the tools necessary to put it
Hmm.
together in one
Together,
piece.
yeah. Hmm.
So
But like these shops, like when we talk about like J, I won't say that they're the black market, but let's say the gray market of photography. Majority of cameras are being sold by these guys. But like recently, like I know Zubair just left, but recently, like even Zubair has mentioned, like cameras are significantly more expensive, even on the grey market side of it,
yeah,
in Bangladesh, because we know graphics card came ki obostha chilo over the
yeah.
last two
Oh
years,
my
maybe.
god. Oh my
And the
god.
computer market in general, like
Yeah,
ek mashe it was the RAMs, the next month it was the hard drives,
yeah.
and ridiculous markups, making made no sense in comparison with the global market. Um, like recently, like StarTech, Ryans এরাও কিন্তু ক্যামেরা বেচা শুরু করছে।
Yeah,
জ্যান তো বেচতই, আইডিবি তো ছিল, but I would say Jan is not like a computer shop, they were like a
yeah.
camera shop. Like I for like what I was thinking, it is maybe because these guys got into the game that a markup bully startup when they started to happen, because computer market is so like hyped up in like their markups. They influence these guys if because they check the prices, right? You check your competition's
Actually,
price.
actually, actually, ridiculous জিনিস মানে এই যে হঠাৎ করে প্রাইস বাড়ার পিছনে কারণ হলো সিলিকন শর্টেজ। এটা
Now of course, yeah, yeah,
মানে
definitely.
এটা ছাড়া অ্যাকচুয়ালি আর সিলিকন শর্টেজ আর আমাদের দেশে the very weird way of getting things into our country,
Hmm, hmm, hmm.
the importing
Situation. Yeah.
situation because of corona and whatnot.
Hmm, hmm.
এটা না হলে I think camera prices would have been a bit more stable. কারণ silicon shortage really affects cameras too,
Yeah, of course,
because
definitely.
মানে I have faced it.
Hmm.
মাঝখানে A7 III প্রাইস আমি 2 বছর আগে যা কিনছি তার থেকে বেশি ছিল।
You're joking. Serious.
I'm not joking. Seriously.
Gosh.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. মানে
Yeah, that infuriates me. Exactly what I was just talking about. Like, um, because there was never so much hype that cameras are being marked up like this, like graphics cards.
মানে
So
না, cameras were not marked up like that. It was just silicon ছিল না বলে ক্যামেরাস বানানো যাচ্ছিল না।
you really think that?
Yeah, it was like that.
No, no, A7 III is a very old camera, right?
See, that's the
Released
thing.
so many years ago.
That's
Yeah.
the thing. People who really needed new cameras, ঠিক আছে, bought out old stock that
Hmm.
was almost at the ex, brink of going
Going
bust,
to yeah.
and they were like ওইটাকেই ডিমান্ডের কারণে প্রাইস বাড়াই দিছে, কিছু করার নেই।
but
how the
like
market works.
like we know, like during lockdowns, laptops, things অনেক ডিমান্ড বেড়ে গেছিল ল্যাপটপের জন্য, কম্পিউটারের জন্য।
Yeah.
বাট ইউ থিঙ্ক ক্যামেরার জন্য এত ডিমান্ড বেড়ে গেছিল? আই ডোন্ট থিঙ্ক সো।
না
ডিমান্ড এন্ড সাপ্লাই তো একটা জিনিস আছে না?
না
So
ওই যে বললাম না
I definitely think there was enough cameras in the country that we could have serviced our population. The photography, the people did not take up during the pandemic, right?
actually না photography was not something taken up on. I think so because যেটা হয়েছে কি ফটোগ্রাফি জিনিসটা হলো মোস্টলি ক্যামেরাস আর bought by photographers.
Photographers, yeah. Like small town
Yeah.
photographers থেকে শুরু করে everybody they
Everybody.
buy photograph, they do upgrade their setup.
Yeah.
সবাই তো এখন 5 বছর আগে সেটআপ
These
নিয়ে
are
কাজ করে
tools
না।
for us. We need
Mhm.
it regardless.
Yeah.
So ওই মার্কেটটা থেকে যায় you
Hmm.
know?
ওই মার্কেটই তো আই থিঙ্ক serves the 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 lion's share of the Bangladeshi market is with photographers. But যেটা বললাম প্রোজিউমার লেভেলে যারা ফ্যামিলি ফটোগ্রাফার বা ফ্যামিলির যে নিডটা,
Actually ওই প্রোজিউমার লেভেলের যারা মানে যারা ক্যামেরা কিনে না ওদের ক্যামেরার প্রাইসেস এত এফেক্ট পড়ে নাই।
না ওই 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 সেগমেন্টে চেঞ্জ হয়ে গেছে টু ব্লগার্স।
Yeah.
Bloggers buy ওই সেগমেন্টটা এখন। Even Canon has like rebranded them their cameras into vlogging cameras. Vlogging setup or like a kit.
Yeah.
So social media, live streamers and whatnot, they have taken up cameras at a certain budget level so that they can
Create high quality.
they increase their production value at least.
Yeah.
Because কয়দিন আর রিং লাইট আর ই দিয়ে চালাবে
হ্যাঁ
ফোন দিয়ে।
মানে
So
ইভেন লাইক একটা রিং লাইট দিয়েও আর একটা ভালো ক্যামেরা দিয়ে এখন খুবই ভালো ভিডিও পাওয়া যায়।
না সেটাই বলতেছি, লাইক ব্লগার্স গুলি তো ওইভাবেই eventually they go towards that.
Yeah.
Most like good vloggers like Salman Sadi and all these guys.
একটা XV1 নাকি XV2 আছে।
Mhm.
ZV2 I guess.
Yeah. So they have shown that vlogging can be
ছোট ক্যামেরা
ক্যামেরা দিয়ে can you imagine like DSLR দিয়ে like vlogging করা? It was like unheard of. Casey, to be honest, I think Casey did start it.
Yeah,
Casey দিয়ে start it, like এত বড় একটা দিয়ে ও কেমনে করে he used to do it. And এর আগে তো people used to use GoPros for like daily যে vlog গুলি ইউজ করতো। He changed the production value and মানুষের চোখও চেঞ্জ হয়ে গেছে। Eventually it trickled down to Bangladesh as well.
হ্যাঁ মানে প্রোডাকশন ভ্যালু জিনিসটা এখনই আস্তে আস্তে ইমপ্রুভ হচ্ছে, which is good. মানে you know what, I think photography in general has changed a lot. People are starting to realize the value of a good content. But also at the same time থাকে না যে অনেক ভালো ভালো কন্টেন্টও এত কন্টেন্টের মাঝখানে হারায় যায়। So it's more like a battle of this finding and then
it feels like a rat race. It's like there's no end to it. It's like constantly just going. Yeah.
আমার মনে হয় at a certain point আমাদের দেশে at least we would see যে there would be a certain amount of budget that people would have for wedding photographers, যেটা কিনা like মানে it would be a part of a priority as much as মানুষকে খাওয়ানো।
Food, yeah. Because আগে তো it never was, photographers
আগে it was
minuscule.
হ্যাঁ it was মানে it was more like একটা ফটোগ্রাফার আইনা কিছু ছবি তুলে দিলে হবে, but now people are thinking that যে না এই ফটোগ্রাফার স্টাইল আমাদের ওয়েডিং এর স্টাইলের সাথে যাবে না,
or we need a documentary, we need something, there's more add-ons. I feel আগে তো ছিল just still photography and video. এখন is we want a photo book, we want a documentary style, documentary style thing for an hour long. We want to cover every aspect of the photo. আগে যেমন just the venues cover হতো, right? এখন the in between segments cover হয়, people getting the clothes on. A lot of things are being covered.
That is only in the high end segment of wedding photography. এখন but এই জিনিসটা না it's going to be common আস্তে ধীরে। the scene is going to change and it's going to be fun. আমার মনে হয় The reason I am coming back to wedding photography every time is because uh, it actually shapes the general mindset of the public. Wedding
True.
photographers, regarding photography of
Mm,
how it is, because um, আমাদের a part of the previous generation only knew photographers would be visible at a wedding or
mm,
at an event.
mm,
They never thought of
mm,
a photographer would be an influential person.
mm.
ওদের ভিতরে ওই
Or
আইডিয়াটা,
or respected as a good like a good
হ্যাঁ
career choice. Yeah.
হ্যাঁ ওই আইডিয়াটা মানুষের ছিল না আগে, এখন এটা
Mm.
হচ্ছে। সো ইটস গোইং টু বি ফান, দ্য ফিউচার ইজ ভেরি ডিফারেন্ট।
Future is bright. The state of photography is good. Acha, let's just a little bit. Let's just switch back to studios. Like I know, like the Reminiscence and all these studios out there for wedding photography. What is the state of like when it comes to fashion and like product photography? Are there like houses where these contents are developed? Are there like professional like photography or like are they like added with the marketing agency or at a department thake photography or something like that? Are there like like how you said crew 35, is it like something like crew 35? Are there like groups here in Bangladesh that exist like as a group
um মানে
or like studios? Yeah.
হ্যাঁ I don't think there are, let's say a proper organization যারা কিনা just photography নিয়ে ডিল করে।
Like
মানে
আমি কি বলতে চেষ্টা করতেছি like you know like Magnum or like
হ্যাঁ
Drake
হ্যাঁ
agencies
হ্যাঁ
ছবি তুলে
হ্যাঁ
and they sell it.
হ্যাঁ
But not like that, but for product photography, for fashion photography এমন কিছু আছে or people are just solo? What do you think?
people are mostly solo and then there are agencies যারা কিনা they're working directly with the client.
Like the marketing agencies.
Yeah, the marketing agencies.
So it's like
এর বাইরে there is no other thing
organizationally, yeah, yeah. But do you
organized।
think there's a requirement for it?
থাকলে খুবই ভালো হয় definitely।
Hmm.
আমার কাছে মনে হয় যে
Hmm.
I think there is people থাকে না, a marketing agency becomes a mixed bag of cats
Hmm.
কিছু সময়। They're doing just so much
Yeah.
at the
They,
same time। I think they're marketing agencies should work with production houses, and then for the photography they should work with a photography agency or something like that যারা
because
কিনা
I don't think they আচ্ছা একটা example দিই I'm giving an example. Fatman Films, right?
yeah
Fatman recently, I don't know, they
Fatman
had
Films, right?
Fatman Films recently now a few months ago I remember they posting on Instagram maybe
Yeah,
যে food photography করবে or something
yeah,
like that or something like that. But Fatman Films is a production house,
yeah,
right?
yeah. So they're
So
just working with food photographs.
hmm. So it's like a Swiss Army knife অবস্থা হয়ে গেছে. Production houses are not getting into like food photography, but like ওইভাবে if you think about it, there are no true photo agencies in Bangladesh when it comes to like fashion or product or commercial photographs.
হ্যাঁ
It's
not that I know of আর কি,
hmm.
not
And
that
I know like I know people like you know
yeah
just
I know people
one guy or I'm sure they have teams around
yeah
them but they're not in organization
no.
like you would say Reminiscence or like Chitra Golpo and like that.
আমার মনে হয় ওই যে একটা ব্যাপার থাকে যে every project is very different from the other, so the requirements of are very different, so it's all কিছু কিছু সময় মানুষের মনে হইতেই পারে যে it's going to get tough for them if they handle মানে সব একটা মানুষকে দিয়ে জাস্ট মাল্টিপল ডিফারেন্ট স্টাইলস করানো is not worth it. There might be somebody who is just good at doing that style of work. There's somebody who's good doing that style of work. So I guess সেজন্য আর কি ইন্ডিভিজুয়ালিটিটা এক্সিস্ট করে।
Yeah,
There is no governing body over it.
but it's easier to brand like brand yourself than it's to brand a name. Mane, at least in Bangladesh aspect,
Yeah.
yeah, they know who people who know photographs. Pritro Ezeke, who's Muhammad Atta, you know,
Yeah.
names by names. They are people get to know people like connect better with names. I feel like
Yeah.
it's like yeah,
But I think there's a lot to change, a lot to learn.
Of
Right?
course, it's still
There's,
like a lot of things in this industry, at least. A lot of things is like very haphazardly put together, হ্যাঁ? The organization কিন্তু একটা powerful একটা জিনিস এই when you organize things together, if there's a structure you believe in, you have a makeup department, you have a stills department, cinematography and whatnot, a photo agency, yeah, like New York, there are photographers,
yeah,
uh, just dealing with photo agencies, just dealing with fashion photography.
yeah,
New York Fashion Week, Milan, whatnot. You know, they just take stills
yeah,
for magazines and whatnot.
yeah.
Commercial same as agency. They're not one dude to like go approach a brand, or the brand would approach that one dude like, hey, I'm a ছবি তুলে দাও for BMW. No,
Yeah.
they would approach the agency. So,
But
hey,
ওদের ওখানে না they're moving towards the individualist approach.
of course, but they buy into that name, right?
Yeah,
But that dude's not working alone. That dude is an organization,
yeah,
or at least in an agency. Like, like how models are in agencies. Like,
yeah,
there are cluster of photographers at agency they কাজ করে, they set up their contracts, the legal aspect of it. Like,
yeah.
ওটাও তো develop. I don't think বাংলাদেশে এত ভালোভাবে develop হয়েছে, right?
না,
A standard agreement.
I recently worked with a photo agency.
Hmm,
They're an upcoming photo agency. It was fun. It was fun working with them. And
hmm,
like being in a photo agent, but working in a agency, like somewhat trims down all the back end work. You know,
hmm.
client সাথে deal করা.
Administrative কাজ
Uh,
টাজ এগুলি,
and
yeah, yeah.
it takes that part of the, and you just focus on
On the art.
yeah,
Yeah,
on the
but that's what I feel like it should be like, it lessens the burden on you. But I guess, it's not a long way to go, but we will get there definitely.
yeah,
Because আমরা তো আর আইসোলেশনে নাই. It's not like North Korea that we're in isolation, কোনো ইনফরমেশন ভিতরে ঢুকতেছে না. You can readily access these ideas. Organizational ideas are open. You can
yeah.
search it up on the internet. It's just a time of getting organized, I feel.
Right.
Yeah, but yeah.
It's going to develop soon. I hope
Hmm,
so. But
hmm, hmm,
ওই যে বললাম না যে there's a lot to know and a lot to learn.
hmm,
So the knowing and learning and then refining things is on its way.
hmm.
But sooner or later, it's going to catch up. I think Bangladesh is doing a great job in terms of what they're trying to come up with. Because মানে um, 4-5 বছর আগেও চিন্তা করা যেত না যে বাংলাদেশের কন্টেন্ট হঠাৎ করে এত ভালো হবে,
Hmm.
you know?
It was a sudden boom, to be
হ্যাঁ,
honest.
হঠাৎ ওই
Um,
করোনার ভিতরে অ্যাপারেন্টলি
Not surprised, because you have basically a captive audience, right? স্ক্রিনেই তো আটকে আছে, আর কি ও কই যাবে, বাসার মধ্যে আর কি করবে? Yeah, you can't be reading books.
yeah,
It's not engaging.
yeah.
So yeah, you just watch tons of content, local
Yeah.
content, foreign content, whatnot.
So তখন
Yeah.
আর কি হঠাৎ করে there's this shift towards, people started seeing a lot of stuff and they realized that a lot of stuff wasn't right.
So yeah, it was not up to the mark. Yeah.
And then people were coming up with good content and there was this competition and এখন আস্তে আস্তে আমার কাছে মনে হয় কি নেক্সট 2 থেকে 3 বছরের ভিতরে যারা ক্যাপিটালাইজ করতে পারবে পুরো সিচুয়েশনটা
Mm.
um they're gonna
They
do it.
they're bringing the bank.
Yeah,
Yeah, no joke.
no joke.
Because like economically speaking, যাই হোক, we are becoming a powerhouse, in a lot of industries aspect of it, leather bolo, marine engineering bolo. um, so people are buying more, to be honest. Like, it's crazy, like the amount of shopping being done during this festive time. On
Yeah,
a insanity, people are being able to afford Nikes and Adidas, which is insane to think about. 10 to 12 years ago, like আমরা হাই স্কুলে থাকতে we would be wearing bata, right? যেটা আমাদের লাস্ট এপিসোড ছিল, we were just talking about that.
yeah,
um yeah, so people ওইভাবে যদি people are getting to buy these things, and people are seeing marketing materials that are not up to the mark, of course they would not like, what is this? This
yeah,
is not done right. Because they have that eye, right?
yeah.
uh,
মানে
peop-
থাকে না যে the selling part starts way before the person actually sees the product.
Mm-hmm.
মানে প্রথম
Definitely.
দেখাতেই ভালো লাগতে হবে, it's more like love at first sight. হ্যাঁ,
Agreed. Definitely
মানে
agreed.
মানে
Because photography has to be like when it comes to like the business
perspective.
photography, commercial photography, it has to be like that. It's very flashy, very মানে instantly catch করতে পারে the eyes, right?
এটাই
Uh,
it's very important. And
yeah.
আমার কাছে মনে হয় বাংলাদেশে what um, বাংলাদেশে যেটা হয় কি there are far too many filmmakers than photographers.
Yes.
And
Not necessarily good ones. I would go to that level. No, no, no. So honestly, there are good bunch of like, yeah, I can count them with my fingers, right? That many. And to be honest, but they're rising stars. I would not. I would take his name, of course. Nuhas has done brilliant.
হ্যাঁ,
His vision, his I just love it. I don't know if you have watched Pet Kata show, but bro, crazy, insane.
আমি
Like when I went in, I was like, this is going to be some crap, Bangladeshi horror stuff that is
হ্যাঁ,
like, using cliches and whatnot. And I was blown like how he developed it. পরে Rahat Rahman, he does ওই যে uh, but podcast one of those ওই যে film reviews করে basically.
আচ্ছা
So
আচ্ছা,
Rahat Rahman, he did an interview of Nuhash for like a podcast basically, and then he explained the how he really wanted to use folk instruments and all these things, like developing a Bangladeshi tone
yeah,
and this distinct একটা autor যেটা বলতেছিলাম like art that
yeah,
distinctly that's a Nuha Shaman production. He's trying to develop it. He's going to South by Southwest, and creatively, if we are speaking, we are having a boom right now.
হ্যাঁ। তারপরে মানে let's talk about যে color grading এর কথাটা বললাম. I
Mm-hmm.
actually saw the color grading and I was like, wait, it, it, it looks good. ঠিক আছে, and I was like, মানে আমি actually মানে পেট কাটা মধ্যে ঠিক আছে হচ্ছে, and I was like, me being busy with my work, I
Mm-hmm.
often don't have time to scroll through social media and see what I
Mm-hmm.
like. But আমি দেখতেছিলাম সবাই পোস্ট করতেছে, and a lot of the cast were our friends of uh,
Mm-hmm.
uh, are people in my friend list and their
Mm-hmm.
friends. তো ওদের দেখলাম যে ওরা কাজ করছে, and I was like, wow, আচ্ছা ওকে, তার মানে একটা ভালো কাজ হয়েছে, I guess দেখা লাগবে,
Mm-hmm.
বাট দেখা লাগবে পর্যন্ত,
Mm-hmm.
and then কালার গ্রেডিংটা আমি দেখছি, this a few kids, একটা ছেলের নাম আছে উমিদ আশরাফ.
Mm-hmm.
He's a photographer actually, or street photographer.
Right.
And I know him because I saw his street photography work.
Mm-hmm.
মজার কাজ করে ছেলেটা,
Mm-hmm.
and ও দেখলাম কালার গ্রেড করছে, and I was like, বাহ, এত সুন্দর কালার্স, মানে I was drawn into it. And then I realized যে না, আচ্ছা ঠিক আছে, I really have to make up some time
Mm-hmm.
and like see this for
Yeah,
real.
because like creatively speaking, like you guys are very close, like moving pictures and when I say moving pictures and still pictures, eventually still pictures is the moving pictures that like it moved into it, right? So you guys came first.
Yeah.
when I talking about it genealogically,
হ্যাঁ, মানে
but
that is why I was telling you যে I want to explore this a bit.
Mhm.
I want to explore photography a bit more. তারপরে I would move into making films and whatnot.
Mhm. Yeah, because production wise, technically, story wise, we are seeing a little like good stories, very nice. Though like very short. I was hoping it'll be a little bigger, but anyways, maybe a lot of things go
Yeah.
into making a film. You have to cut corners, but um, story like technically wise, like visually, Bangladeshi stuff has developed so much over the years through the pandemic as well, because of like a young generation with new enthusiasm. Because again, I feel like the old vanguards যারা না এই টোনই রাখতে হবে, এই লাইটই ইউজ করব, um, kids are trying to push the boundaries.
Yeah, absolutely. একটা কথা না বললি না, have you seen recent commercial TVCs move into FPV drones and stuff like that? খুবই insane কিছু fast moving top down shots নেয়, ঠিক আছে, মানে একটা
I
building
know that one guy who does it, which
yeah,
yeah,
Nero.
you know, yeah,
Yeah,
মানে ও টিভিসি না দেখছি কি বলে
ওই যে
আহ, ঢাকার একটা করলো না মন্টাজ
ও হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ না ওটা নিরোর ছিল না না ঢাকার মন্টাজটা করছে ওটা না ইট ওয়াজ নট ডান
দ্যাট গাই ওকে আচ্ছা ঠিক
না
আছে
ওটা
Yeah.
ওয়াজ সাম আদার ডুড
হুম,
um I'm talking about there's this kid called Shomrat Nido, you know.
হুম,
So he makes his own drones and then he flies them.
হুম,
ঠিক আছে? Which is pretty cool. মানে ওর কিছু কিছু কাজ দেখছি and he মানে these drones are fast man.
হুম.
Like they can go like 200 kilometers an hour.
Wait,
Great.
is it the kid who did ওই যে গুলশানের ওই এফপিবিটা ওটা?
হ্যাঁ
Yes. দেখছি।
সো এই জিনিসটা এখন একটা মানে বাংলাদেশে একটা চাহিদা আসতেছে which is good
হুম,
and but then again the Bangladeshi market is they're still trying to fight between it actually why is this so expensive
হুম.
because to get a very good
It's a new
drone
technology, of course it'll be
to
expensive.
get to be very honestly speaking to get a very good drone shot you really need to risk your drone তাছাড়া it's not visually pleasing লাগে মানে অত visually pleasing লাগে না you really need to push it to its absolute limits
Limits, yeah.
তখন it's like fun and even in Hollywood জিনিসটা মানে এফপিভি জিনিসটা ছিল বাট অতটুক ছিল না বাট নাও দে আর পুশিং ইট টু দ্য অ্যাবসলিউট লিমিটস মাইকেল বে রিসেন্টলি স্টার্টেড ওয়ার্কিং অন দিস ফিল্ম যেখানে কিনা he hired this professional drone racer
Drone racers, yeah.
yeah so ওদেরকে হায়ার করছে to do the few shots that he needed for the film and most of the fight scenes were actually shot on a um,
For first person perspective, yeah.
yeah
Hmm.
and it's
Hmm.
pretty interesting
Yeah, that's. I mean, like I know for a fact, like a lot of like on TikTok, I see it. A lot of FEB guys making like videos,
yeah
like throughout Bangladesh.
yeah
So FPV drones, of course, there's like a niche for it, definitely. But like when it comes to drone shots, like in like creative spaces, you see like drones are so accessible now. Like even though they're like a little gray in terms of legality of it,
yeah
they're so accessible. Everyone can take a drone shot,
yeah
no big deal. But like let's say like like the movie that I watched a few months back or a few years ago, if I'm not wrong, যেখানে বাংলাদেশি movie,
that's it
they used a camera, a drone, যেটার মধ্যে you could see like the camera is being shifted, the frame to change was one of the but it was not done in the best way. It was just drone shot এর জন্য drone shot নিছে.
yeah
It could have been done in a better way, but I feel like when it comes to like creative works, using drones, photographs or like video, mostly the videos, yeah, it has they have to go to a certain level to develop that style.
true very true
Yeah.
এই প্রত্যেকটা জিনিসেরই সেজন্যই বলতেছিলাম যে um, the reason why I want to stay in move into direction instead of being a filmmaker
Mm-hmm.
মানে you know what I mean right by being a
Yeah, I understand.
cinematographer is because I feel like যে um, a cinematographer কাজটা অনেক different
Hmm.
and I don't want to focus on the technicality anymore
Hmm.
I
It gets tiring, to be honest, if I feel like because it's such a overburdening thing, এত কিছু, like filmmaking at least,
হ্যাঁ,
red cameras, you know,
it takes
transferring the files,
naming
uh,
them
everything.
in order
It sounds like a nightmare to me. Like I've never dabbled into like
dude I
some-
really have a lot of respect to people who make films
Hmm.
মানে
No, I do definitely.
মানে
Like it's a crazy process, man. It's like very underappreciated. People
হ্যাঁ,
don't understand the tons of work that go into it. Not just the technical team, everybody, like writing,
মানে real
makeup.
filmmaking আর কি মানে
Mm-hmm.
very tough and আমার মনে হয় আস্তে ধীরে um, মানে ওই যে বলতেছিলাম না যে there are a lot of filmmakers নাম মানে just নামে filmmakers but
Yeah.
they don't know even they don't even know like একটা proper ISO setting কেমনে কি করতে হবে না করতে হবে কেমনে exposure ঠিকঠাক রাখতে হবে আমি মানে
Not
one,
surprised because most of these directors don't have like a they don't have any academic background. মানে
হ্যাঁ,
কেমনে জানবে লাইক ফিল্ম স্কুলে যাও নাই আচ্ছা ঠিক আছে না ফিল্ম স্কুলে না গেছো নিজের they don't even take that initiative that self study. Nope, not happening.
নাও দেন। আসলে ওই যে বললাম না পড়াশোনাটা করা হয় না আসলে।
Yeah,
মাঝখানে
because they,
মাঝখানে there was this I forgot her name. She's a very famous celebrity. তো
mm,
একটা মানে একটা ভিডিও দেখছিল যে ফোন দিয়ে একটা ভিডিও করছে একটা লোক। She was saying that যেটা কবিতা লিখলাম, কবিতা লিখে সোশ্যাল মিডিয়াতে পোস্ট দিলাম আর আমি পোয়েট হয়ে গেলাম। মানে এটা কি হইলো?
oh,
মানে
but that's how it is like
মানে পড়াশোনাটা কই? মানে একটা
yeah.
সাধনা থাকে না? মানে
Mm,
সাধনাটা কই? মানে I really liked what she said যে আসলে মানে people need to like really need to sit down and study for it.
mm, mm.
You know, put some time and effort to know what it's all about.
Yeah. Like like as any creative people do, like I was trying to like make this grand script, so got into like down like I can afford a script writing software, so I downloaded one, pirated one, and started writing on it. And then একজন like connected to the film industry I showed him, they're like, dude, hit a key. I'm like, the script is it, and the technical use, like how it's like how they write it in Hollywood,
Yeah,
like segments, scenes, external and internal, key lights, key transitions, এগুলো সব স্ক্রিপ্টে থাকে, right?
yeah,
You have to have a certain একটাই font use করো ওরা, size 12 so that basically one page of it translates into 1 minute of
yeah,
film.
yeah.
That's how it works. They're like, they don't do this in Bangladesh. They
No,
use MS Word and they just write the dialogues. There's no technical. They don't know this. They
some
don't
of
use
some
this.
of them do. Some of them
Huh.
do. People who understand, they do.
Hmm.
People who just disregard this entire thing, they
Hmm.
don't.
They don't. Yeah. So it creatively we have a lot of potential. To be honest, I feel like we will get there definitely.
আসলে হয়েছে কি ওই যে ওই মানে ইন্টারনেটটা হঠাৎ করে চলে আসছে তো বাংলাদেশে,
Hmm.
and then and then people are like, oh wow, what does this button do?
Yeah,
What does
data is
this
so
button do?
data is
Yeah,
so
yeah,
cheap.
yeah,
It was like the early days of TikTok.
yeah.
Cringy content আর কিছুই
Oh
বাদ
my
ছিল না।
god, oh my god. এখন TikTok is the shit, you know, like
It is. On my no joke. Like
no joke,
I
man.
used to disrespect it. I'm like, I can scroll through my feed and find good stuff.
Yeah,
No worries. Yeah.
no worries.
Yeah.
Well, it takes a bit of time, you know.
Yeah, yeah. Because you need to train the algorithm as well.
Yeah,
Like I need you to show me stuff that I like. So
yeah, yeah. You need to tell the system, Jay, yo, this is what I like. Show me this, not
yeah.
that. Right.
Yeah. Because you cannot be like, watcher stuff and whatnot. We can't TikToks, that was how it was in the early days. Anyways, long conversation. I know you had a long day, so I won't keep you any longer. It was great having you, bro. It was a fun conversation. Zubi is gone because our electricity chole geche, but it's fine.
Ah,
Yeah. So I'd like to thank you again. Definitely
no
we'll
worries, man.
come back with you in a few months and take an
Yeah,
update about the state of photography in Bangladesh.
yeah.
Thank you, Fred, so much.
Bye bye, man. Thanks.
Bye.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks.
Take care.
Take
Bye.
care.